this is something that I want to ask you from, like, I want your advice in shedding some light on what decisions I should take as a professional next, right? So let me ask you my question. If you didn't understand it, I can definitely rephrase it. The question is that I work on a lot of design and a lot of see, as creative director of my agency, a junior creative director of my agency, my job is to make sure that what goes out looks good, serves the purpose, and gets people to look at where they're supposed to be looking at. Right? Pretty much, you could say like almost like a UI UX person for the creatives that we send out. Does it look the way it's supposed to look? Does it match the brief? Is it what it's supposed to be? Is it creative enough, quirky enough? Will it stand out? All of those things. But what I don't like is when I know I'm creating a bad piece of design, but this bad piece of design is bad piece in the sense that the design doesn't aesthetically work. It isn't modern. It isn't an evolutionary piece of content. It isn't something that is going, it's like just
the business
asking for a sale. Sorry?
It's just like the status quo, not pushing the thing.
Correct. You are spot on. So it is like that, okay? And what they say is like, and I to an extent agree with what they say, is that a majority of our Indian audiences is not woke enough or culturally enhanced enough to understand too much minimalism in design and stuff like that. Like the minimalist, the agency called Minimalist, right?
Yeah.
So if you take a bunch of, say, 50 creative people and you put them in a room and show them a minimalist creative, maybe 3 or 4 or maybe 10 will understand it. The rest will be like, what the fuck is happening? So what do you suggest to me as an individual who has to take these decisions on a day-to-day basis? Should I sacrifice the design ethos because the reasoning is that the client or the customer will not understand this sense of design? Or is it that my sense of ethos is secondary to a functional and a purposeful piece of design, which might not be good looking? So what is your take on that? I think this will really help me understand.
Got it. What kind of size are we talking of the client? Like what size are these companies at?
Let's say 4,800 crores turnover as of 2015.
Got it. And any specific sectors or just like general?
Think of them as a logistics, shipping and e-commerce supplier.
Okay.
They're not an e-commerce company, but they help e-commerce companies get their logistics and supplies in place.
Got it.
So very B2B focused, highly B2B focused, mainly presence on Twitter and LinkedIn, or maybe at emails and PR releases. But it is a brand which can do a lot with design. Their explanation was, our customers and clients don't understand this design, hence we shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Your take on this?
So I think to start off with, I would say there's no such thing as no design, right? Every single thing has some design to it. So I feel like a lot of Indian clients, when they think about it, they're like, design is a presence of something. It's a presence of these additional things that you add to it, which gives it some beauty or some meaning or some structure.
Okay.
Right? So they're like, it's an add-on. It's a coat of paint, right? Versus with that mentality, there's then the opposite of that is no design, right? But what I'm saying is there's never a case where there's no design. It's a case where it's been thought through or not thought through, right? It's how self-aware is the design and the people around it to know what the scene is. So firstly, that's the thing. And then secondly, it's a matter of the purely functional aspects of it. It's like, for example, let's say in marketing, you have ATL and BTL, right? Where BTL is you have targeted campaigns, you're spending money on it. You're like, I'm going to optimize each dollar. You have BTL where I'm putting a billboard. I hope people see it. Like, I know roughly these many people see it, but I have no clue. I'm not even tracking conversions to the exact point, right? So there's a similar thing like that with the kind of stuff you're doing as well, which is sometimes it's like we need something that just fulfills role A in this form. and this is how we've done it in the past. We don't see a need to change it. And then there's other stuff where it's like, okay, we've actually done this in the past, but things are different now because of some reason. And that's, I feel, where the room comes in for creativity, where you're like, okay, let me tell you fuckers a story, right? You don't see the full picture. You think things should be this way because of the things you already know. But let me tell you what, I live in the real world now. I am, in whatever sense, closer to reality, which is why you're hiring me versus doing it yourself, right? And then you present the solution and you present what is behind it. So I think it's creating that category of the envelope can be pushed, the status quo can be changed, versus this is business as usual.
Holy fuck, dude! Like that was a mic drop. What you just said, mic drop is holy. That is so incredible. Like I have again never thought of anything like that. Like even no design is design, right? Even a white sheet of paper is design, dude. At the end of the day. Oh fuck yeah. For Indian brands, design is the makeup that you put, but design is also bone structure and skin and how everything else looks, right? Oh yeah, this is the mentality. Yeah, you put the text in, you put the wireframe in, then you make the design. But no, you're supposed to think it through, then put the text and the wireframe in. And that becomes your design.